Good morning, campers. It is 6:37 on the east coast of the United States, and I've been up since 5 a.m. Um, let's talk about Aquarius. So, the nature of the sign is the core mechanics of humanity. And with Pluto now in Aquarius, we are seeing the unseen. We are diving. Pluto always shows us whatever sign he's in, whether it is a retrograde motion or whether it's forward. There is doing and undoing, and we are currently doing, and we are breaking through walls and breaking through barriers and breaking across things that are uncomfortable currently, as opposed to undoing things that are uncomfortable and going back over them. So I will talk a little bit about the daily face of Aquarius, which is Cancer, which is taking care of things, which is emotion, which is anything sixth house, anything daily is mundane, is tedious. It is work, right? So working to be emotional, working to take care of things, you have to even work to be cared for sometimes. In order to do that, you have to allow the emotion in. You have to allow it to happen. And that actually takes work. The part of the other function of this is you have to look at the repression here. And emotional repression is either Scorpio or anything 8th house, which is Scorpio is the 8th sign. So that's also embedded in this. And with Virgo being the 8th sign or the 8th house from Aquarius is also part. You can see how, Virgo being the 6th sign is about work and is about service. And so Cancer and Virgo here are with each other, right? They are mirroring each other to an extent about what needs to be done. So what people know of Aquarius is it can be secretive, it can be transformational, it can be shocking, it can be an emotional ghost, right? Because Scorpio being that 10th house, being how you're known, that public face, is emotional repression, right? But that doesn't mean there's not emotion, because there is. There is emotion about daily things. If you want to see, an Aquarius have emotions, you have to live with them. You have to see them every day. They do have emotions. They do. All of us do. But to find out what you care about, to find out the things that need nurturing, you have to see it. You have to pay attention to it every day. So the sign that is the harmonic inside this, that's kind of, I don't want to say hidden, but the mind of Aquarius is Aries. Well, this is where a little bit of astronomy comes in. When the sun is at the beginning of Aries, it is at the same solar intensity as it is at the end of Virgo. So the height and the intensity of the sun, and it doesn't matter where you live, whether you're northern or southern hemisphere, is the same intensity as at the end of Virgo. So we call this Antesia. So it's a harmonic. So as the sun progresses through Aries, it is essentially working backwards through Virgo, And then when the sun is in Virgo, it's essentially, the reverse of Aries. So if we are trying to work on our emotions and work on not repressing them, then we really have to look at how we direct our mind, right, in Aquarius. And currently, with this chart, with Mars in Leo, we're looking at our lives. We're looking at what we've created. We're looking at children. We're looking at hair. We are looking at fun and games. And that's really what life is, right? Life is not defined by Virgo or the sixth house or our daily tasks. That's not life. That's maintenance, right? That is putting work into what you value of your life, right? And there's many different layers to this, and I'll try to keep this as simple as possible, as I always do, but I tend to yammer quite a bit. I mean, again, I've been, this is 6.5 minutes in, so we go back to Aries, and we go back to Mars because it rules Aries, and because Mars is in Leo, we have to look to the sun, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and this is how rulerships work. This is how you find out what's really going on in the chart and how things are working mechanically, right? So the sun being in Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. You're like, okay, well, let's look at Jupiter. Where's Jupiter? Jupiter's retrograde in Gemini, in the 5th house of Aquarius, right? The 5th sign from Aquarius is Gemini. So Aquarius essentially creates through communication. And if Aquarius is not communicating, then nothing is created, right? And if people are trying to undo their belief systems, which is what Jupiter rules, like Sagittarius' belief systems, then you have to communicate. And if you don't communicate, then the following sign, right, Gemini, if you don't Gemini, or even, if you don't Aries, if you do not direct your mind in an Aquarian sense, then the following sign from Aries or from Gemini, right, the following sign from Aries is Taurus. If you do not direct your mind, you will not be at home with value. You will not have a steady emotional value set. You will not be able to create family, because that's what the 4th house is. That's what Cancer is. It is family, right? So if you do not communicate because of your belief systems, because you're like, oh, well, this is inconsequential. Gemini is small things. So you're like, oh, this doesn't matter. Well, if you don't communicate things that you may not think that matter, then you will not be able to nurture things in an Aquarian sense. Because Cancer requires communication. It requires decisions, right? You have to make decisions if you want to care about things. And if you do care about things, you will make decisions. And we all make decisions all the time. We're like, okay, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat? Do I want a cheeseburger or do I want chicken? Or do I just want a bowl of cereal? Do I want some toast? There are a myriad of decisions. And if all of us have been in a very emotional state, it's hard to make a single decision, right? So what do you do when you're in that state? You stop and you breathe in and out and in and out. And that's Gemini. One thing and then the other. The swinging of the pendulum. Tick tock, right? So that's how you sort it. You communicate your life. You communicate the events that are happening if you care about things. Now, people that are very mind-oriented or mental, or people that are very Aquarian, or sometimes even people that are very secretive about their daily lives. You know, the Gemini nature is to be a bit secretive about its daily activities. It is suppressing its emotions, right? The mind, there are undercurrents there, but they're not completely suppressed. They do come out. They are suppressed, but they're still expressed, right? They are still coming out. Like there is, current volcanic activity in Iceland. It's been going on every day for some months. And from time to time, a couple of days ago, it was shooting shafts of lava and fire 500 feet in the air. Now, that subterranean intensity, that pressure, was pushing up. And this was right after Pluto moves into Aquarius. So that subterranean pressure was being expressed. And because of the internal processes. So our internal, even suppressed mental processes, suppressed emotional processes do express. And if we have problems, if we have trust issues, if we have problems trusting people, we will not tell them things. If we have a hard time being nurtured, or we don't feel like we have worked for nurturing, and that can be another part of this. It's a bit of an abstract concept here, with Virgo being the suppressed nature, being working, right? But it's also transformational. So there's a lot of different mental and psychological, emotional, and knowledge that can be gained from this, but you have to slow down and pay attention to it. Again, that's details. And Virgo is details. And anything that is in the 6th house, and for Aquarius, it's Cancer. It's details. It's emotional details. Now, it might be an odd concept, but it's details about things that are being taken care of. Because we are talking about suppressed emotion here. And the expansion of Scorpio is Cancer. That's how Scorpio expands. That's how Scorpio grows, is through taking care of its emotional state. And with Aquarius, the iteration of that is taking care of relationships, taking care of fairness, taking care of balance, taking care of justice, and having values that keep those things ordered, right? Virgo is order. So, suppressed emotional order is what allows Aquarius to have relationships that will expand you, because that's how Aquarius expands. That's how humanity expands, is through relationship. It doesn't matter whether it's relationship of people or relationship of how much eggnog and rum you drink at 6 a.m. in the morning, like I did today. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I've been bothered by things. So I didn't sleep. I mean, I did sleep, but I woke up early. And I addressed the things that I was upset at last night. And now I am expressing them. I am communicating my life as a Sagittarius rising. And normally I don't express these things. So Jupiter being retrograde in Gemini is very much me expressing things that I wouldn't normally talk about, things that I would just keep in my head, keep in my heart, the pressure building up, and then when it gets too great, I explode. And I emote, which is the negative side of Gemini for Cancer, versus expressing, versus just talking about it, versus taking a breath, being calm, making the mental connection, and talking about it. And we're all teachers for each other. If you are in a relationship with somebody, you can teach them how to be a human. You can teach them where your boundaries are. You can teach them, where your guidelines are, in a pirate sense. Because there are rules, but rules can be sloppy. It's okay, depending on what the relationship is. And almost any relationship is a bit sloppy. All right? And it's perfectly fine. It's necessary. Even in a mechanical sense, slop is necessary. If two mechanical things are directly touching, they can't move any. So there's a little bit of slip, there's a little bit of slop. But how much slop is necessary for that motion? If there is no space, then there can't be anything. If there is too much space, there also cannot be anything. And this is the nature of Pluto and Aquarius. Things have to be close enough to affect each other, right? And waves. Was it Nikola Tesla? If you want to understand the universe, think about frequency and I forget right now. Frequency and vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. Planets, people, the poker chip that I have in my hand right now has a vibration. And it has a unique vibration. And the vibration of this poker chip is so unique that it cannot pass through the vibration of my fingers, which is how I hold on to it. There are subatomic forces going on between my fingers and this poker chip, but the nature of them allows that, and they are unique. It allows me to manipulate this, allows me to move it around, allows me to hold on to it. But there is no such thing as direct physical connection. You can get close enough to matter, which, think about those words, close enough to matter. And if you do not get close enough, there's no nurturing. There's no spinning. There's no communication. There is no, I don't know. The word I'm looking for here is look at the sign of Cancer. It's the spin, right? It's the spinning. It's the crab. It's the breasts. It is, there's no rotation. It's the yin and yang. So without that closeness, there is no parallel orbit. And then the purpose of life, the value of life for Aquarius is lost. And there is loss of value, is loss of life, is loss of family, is loss of nurturing. So, it was not my intention to be down about this. It was my intention to inform and to let you guys know the things that come up in my mind and the way that I think about things and my experiences and my experience with caretaking and Aquarius, and how to be how to be a Cancer that is of service. That is me. I am that Cancer that is of service. I try to serve my humans. I try to serve the people that to me are stable. And anybody that has trust with me, anybody that trusts me, or anybody that I feel like trusts me, will tell me things. And when they don't tell me things, I feel like they don't trust me and I'm not in their tribe. And it could be that they're just not being mindful. But if you don't say anything, if I don't say anything, then improvement cannot happen. Virgo cannot happen. Gemini cannot happen. Cancer cannot happen. Libra cannot happen. Communication is essential. And feedback, that, you know, when it comes back to that, when it feeds all the way back around, and you tell somebody, hey, where is your life? Where am I in your life? And you ask a question, their response can very much be expansion. It lets you know where they are, where their value systems are, how much they value you, and how much they value the communication in making decisions. And that's back to Gemini. And that's what happens. And then currently, our belief structures change. Our tribe can shift and change. And with Mercury coming into a retrograde currently, and gonna back up into an opposition with Jupiter, it's gonna be hard. So this is a 4th video already this week. So hope you guys are keeping up, because I'm trying to keep up. And good luck out there.